All right. Now, because in the progression of basic sanity development, say in stage 3 or 4, we still have our own conditioning. True? The game is just to not project it. This is the game. Just don't put it out there. And certainly don't believe it. Don't take it as real and don't put it out there. Does that make sense? So we have our conditioning about what the world is, about who I am, my self-image, how I relate to you, this environment, what I do. Okay, what you want to do in the cultivation of basic sanity is not really put that out there. You want to recognize it as it's formulating to come out of your mouth, or out of your action, or out of your feeling base. And you would like to just disconnect that from the progression of flowing out, right? We have to reel back those karmas. So this is one of the most important ways to work at a very high spiritual level, right? But it's psychology, basically, but that's high spiritual. That's not mechanistic. So it's not a yoga posture or a breathing practice. It depends upon your own ability to have sattarka, to look inside, and to see these capacities that you have that are conditioned karmas, right, conditioned responses, and to stop them before they come out. Doing that is huge. Once they're rambling around inside and you're watching them, then you can have them dissipate. Some people experience, it makes me crazy, I'm seeing so much now. It doesn't really make you crazy. If it's making you crazy, it's still coming out. You're just really aware of it for the first time, that there's so much of it going around. So in this way, we don't have any psychological projection. So I'm not going to see another human being and say, you're there to gratify my needs in whatever way. You're my employee, you should do this. Or you're my lover, you should do this. Or you're my husband, you should do this. Or you're my teacher, you should do this. Or you're my daughter, you should do that. All these different ideas of projecting realities onto other people loaded with expectations. That really falls down in basic sanity. It starts to fall apart when you start living in that round world, right? You can't expect anything. What you should expect is the unexpected all the time. If you expect the unexpected all the time, you're doing really well. Right? As one of my teachers says, why are you so surprised? I used to go to him all the time and say, I'm so surprised that XYZ Lama took his robes off and married some young girl, and now he's going to discos every night and drinking. Why are you so surprised? And I just thinking, why am I so surprised? It's what people do all the time. People always go crazy, do the unexpected. Right? So we want to end our psychological projection. That's a big thing. We can only do that by seeing that we have it, sattarka, looking inside. And we have to apply some type of brakes. We have to actually apply the willpower to not let it flow out. Right? Good. You can see this, I think, back to my sports analogies, which I think are quite good for this, or craft analogy, that's another good one. If I'm a stone carver, and I'm carving a statue, and I'm seeing what I want for that statue, and I'm really working hard on getting what I want to come out, 9 times out of 10 you're going to break something, and it's not going to come out right. This is what my friends tell me who master stone carvers in Varanasi. You all know the thing, well, it's already in the stone, it's already in the piece of wood, just let it come out, Yeah, let it come out. So you and I get these things, we just keep hacking it. So there's some place where skill and experience meets the letting it come out, right? And in that interface, in that dynamic process, you can't project 100% what you expect and want out of it. There has to be an openness while you're intuiting and guiding the coming out, right? Very interesting. Or like, was a famous, very famous martial artist named Billy Robinson, who died a few years ago. He was a catch wrestling master and coach. And he said some really interesting things. One of the things from his coach, actually, was all passed down, isn't it? He said, if someone asks somebody, a fighter, just about to go into their match, what are you going to do in this match? And that fighter answers, well, I'm going to do this, this, and this. You can be rest assured that that person is terrible. That person has no skill whatsoever, no knowledge of what really goes on in a match. Because if you go into that projection like we're talking about, that preconceived notion, you're not going to do well. Just impossible. Things have to happen on automatic. Another way to say it is this coach, this great wrestler and coach, Billy Robinson, his coach, Billy Riley, said, very famous quote, if you can think of a move, or if you can see it in the match, or think of it in the match, if you can think of a move in the match or see it in the match, it's already too late. Because that would have to come through your projection. It'd have to take time to arise in your field, come out, and he's saying it's too late because if the other person is acting on pure instinct, letting it flow, you're already too late, right? So this is how we want to cut our psychological projection. Of course, expectations of how others will behave is always how we get in trouble. Is it not? Right? Oh man, betrayed again. Well, join the human race. You know? Wow. I know all about that one. So when I first started studying Dzogchen formally with my Lama, instead of just going taking retreats here and there, but trying to figure out who my Lama would be, when I finally settled on His Holiness, Dr. Tempe Nima as my Lama, and he gave a prayer book to me, I remember being astounded. I didn't speak Tibetan at that time or read it. I remember being astounded at that time when I got to reading the English translation of one of the really long prayers that says, don't be surprised by the treachery of your family and your friends, the betrayal by your family and friends. This isn't a prayer. This isn't a prayer of conditioning your mind to recognize the ultimate nature, essence of enlightened Buddha nature that you have, you know? I was like, wow, that's pretty heavy as a spiritual prayer to be reading every day. But it hit me so strong because I'm so sentimentally loyal. So my conditioning is not good around that area. So it hit me extra strong, right? Sentimentality is not good. Loyalty as a virtue by itself is powerful, but loyalty has no expectations. Sentimental loyalty, not good. So that really hit me. But think about this. These kind of prayers are put there to hit us in the face about our conditioning and expectations that we have about other people. So as long as we have all these kind of expectations and conditionings, we will suffer greatly, right? And we will never really see things the way they are. So this has to be let go of. Now, in the 6 realms teachings, where we understand that there are 6 very specific ways that our energy and consciousness can be formulated in reactive, conditioned, karmic response to stimuli and situations, internally and externally, in these 6 ways that we can respond and position ourselves energetically, mentally, emotionally, etc., spiritually even. We can understand it in that there are these 6 ways, these 6 realms teachings from ancient Tantra, in Hindu and Buddhist Tantra. Well, these realm fixations are also nothing but a way of categorizing the very same conditioning that we were just talking about, right? Right? Related to the 6th chakra. So, anything you know about from 6 realms technology that you know, well, I get really hooked up in the hell realm. I like to blame people a lot and feel nasty blame about situations. You know, I got a healthy dose of Titan realm in there too, fighting just for the sake of fighting and struggle. You know, all these ways that we buffer, 6 realms technology, we say we buffer being present with reality, right? So we have these 6 modes of doing this. This is also another way of saying that we're not in clear view. So we're saying that progressively from stage 3 to stage 5, 6, we need to drop every realm fixation as well. And we shouldn't be. So by the time we have what we consider to be well-established basic sanity at stage 7, right? We should not be expecting things from others. We should not be projecting onto others. We shouldn't have a perceptual field for the whole world, moment to moment, called a 6th realm, you know, one of the 6 realms, right? So that goes without saying. If you find very clearly that you're conditioned into one of the realms and it's reactionary fixation, then you should definitely go at that to release that and let go as an exercise in basic sanity, right? Everything we do can be brought into the service of achieving a deeper experience of basic sanity. Every yoga practice you know, every meditation, every integrated second attention practice, everything you do, right? Okay. Now, as we're cultivating this sense of what is basic sanity, what is innate to my own internal state that is clear, right? That is open, and that allows me to function in the optimization of what it is that I was born to be and do in this lifetime. My purpose, right? My nadi. One of the expressions of this basic sanity will be the ability for us to first intuit, know directly. Intuition is direct knowledge, right? Know directly my natural appetites. Right? If I have basic sanity, I will know directly my natural appetites. Again, let's not black and white it. Let's get close. We're getting better at knowing our natural appetites as we go towards the ideal of basic sanity. Make sense? Okay? So this should apply in all areas. When we go shopping, do I want this item because of what this item will say about me when I wear it? Or do I wear the clothes? Do the clothes wear me, or do I wear the clothes? Right? Well, this one's good. It makes my boobs look a little bit higher, you know. I'm a mother with 3 kids, and I want to make my boobs look higher again. Why do you want to do that? Are you trying to show that you're not a mother with kids? Do you not accept yourself that they've dropped? Gravity's real. Isaac Newton gave it to us a long time ago. We got it, gravity. You know. So we want to assess this kind of thing, right? Looking at very clearly what are our natural appetites? What are our natural appetites? And refine that wisdom, that fire of discriminative intelligence to go deeper and deeper and deeper into what is actually naturally appropriate for us, right? What kind of environment do I want to live in? Where do I want to live? Green, grassy, ocean, fresh air, water, happy people, nice, what? So you come from Shanghai, and I just got back from a few days at my Japanese center, right? So I go to Kyoto in Japan. And what a stunning difference in the people, in the way they live life, you know, in the rush, the crazy rushed pace here versus there, in the non-regard of each other. No one's regarding each other in this culture in Shanghai. They're, you know, basically fullbacks on a football team on the sidewalk running you over everywhere and spitting on your foot while they do it. And in Kyoto, it's a very different experience. You know, so you see, and this is not to say one's bad or good. This is just to show very different, because then they have the robot mode in Japan, right? Of just following these societal mores without ever really enlivening them with a fresh sense of presence, right? This is the mode there. So everything has its drawbacks. But you want to know, when you're following your natural appetites, what environment allows your natural appetites to come out more? That's the key, isn't it? Where is it best fostered, this expansion of natural appetites, this expansion of basic sanity? If you're held into a job that has you work extremely insane hours, you know, under very erratic conditions and confusing conditions, then it might be that you get quite scattered, right? And when you get quite scattered, you're not able to sense your natural appetites. Those kind of jobs, people will have staggered meal times, not keep lunch at 12, and their workouts are catch as catch can, and, you know, this kind of thing. You lose your sense of what you really need. So it should be applied to, first we want to explore our natural appetites as a way of creating more basic sanity, and go for the basic appetites, which are pillars of life in Ayurveda: food, sleep, sex. Yep, main ones: food, sleep, and sex, and then we get environment and exercise. Right? What is our natural appetite for food? Oh, I don't know. Do I sense what elements in the food I need to nourish the elements that need to be balanced in me? Yeah, I can go down that way. That's what we have to do. That's the path of Ayurvedic eating or Taoist dietetics, something like that. The only 2 systems I know like this really that are any good. What about sex? What's my need for sex? How much sex do I need? What quality of sex do I need? How often do I need it? With what kind of partners? What genders? What, you know, who knows? So that has to be something that we can really go into and decide what is really good for me as a natural appetite. Yeah? In the same way, we want to do sleep. Do I sleep too much? Do I sleep too little? Well, the book said everyone should sleep 8 hours. What book? Who wrote it? Does it apply to you or not? Can you feel it? Can you sense it? Can you intuit it? You have direct knowledge of it. Could it be different in the winter from the summer? Could the time you go to sleep be different from winter to summer for you? Yeah. So we want to really be hearing and listening to these deeper appetites. Now, a person who's deeply steeped in basic sanity clearly knows what these appetites are. Whether they follow them or not is a different story, right? So we're talking today, it's the question, as it always comes up, is if a person is really present in their body, and they say they're really present in their body, and let's say this person even has a job where they teach other people how to be really present in their body, and yet their body is kind of unhealthy, but within their control to become more healthy. I'm not talking about unhealthy from a genetic disease, right? That's different. You can't control that. Let's say overweight, something clearly within your control, unless you have, again, some genetic hormonal dysfunction or something, where you could eat less and exercise more, or eat healthier and exercise more. So if someone says, this is my job, I teach people how to be present in corporations or something with communication, or I'm a yoga teacher, or whatever it is, and they're clearly overweight in a way that's unhealthy, and able to have and express the ability to change that, but they don't, can we say that that person is actually basically sane? Rhetorical question, right? Can we say that that person is basically sane or not? So not only is there a direct knowledge, an intuition of what is correct and appropriate for yourself, there must be the follow-through to be basically sane as well. So going back to Sanskrit, which is a great teacher for these concepts, there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. So the word jnana, meaning wisdom, J-N-A-N-A, right? Jnana, J-long A-N-A. This word means wisdom, but this word means, it's implied in this word that this is not a dissociated mental experience, but that it is a lived, directly experienced type of knowledge. Paurusha jnana, specifically, Paurusha jnana versus Baudha jnana. Baudha jnana in Sanskrit, you know these terms, right? Baudha jnana means intellectual wisdom, right? Paurusha jnana means experiential, right? So, basic sanity could become just a concept. And it is a birthing concept down in like stage 3. But by the time you're in deep stage 3, 4, 5 and moving through the stages, it should become more and more your every moment reality, physically showing up. So that your presence is there fully in this experience. And in this case, it would be considered in a high level of basic sanity, showing up around stage 7, it would not be possible to be that out of touch with your body that you would be obese to the point of ill health, or you would be surfing the internet till 3 a.m. every night and getting up at 8 o'clock for work for years on end, depleting all your base kidney energy or jing or ojas, whatever you want to call it, right? It wouldn't be possible to actually do that because you know what's right for you, directly intuited. And because it's basic sanity, it's not some information, it's a direct experience. It impels you immediately into the action of correction. So you can see that human beings are like just these mechanisms that are constantly correcting all day long. If you look at the path of Ayurveda or Taoist medicine, you know, it's just constantly this game of balancing. Life is this game of balancing, right? All around you, there's these constantly interwoven cycles of entropy, right? And system building, basically. And that's what a human body is. When the entropy tips the scale, you die, right? But right now, it's entropy. You know, lysozymes hit the cell, it breaks down. We want that chaotic cuckoo-ness, it all breaks down. We don't want cells to last too long. We start producing bad genetic material, break them down. As soon as bad stuff starts coming out, they go blow it up. We want to break it down so we don't produce cancer and so on. And they want to wipe it out. But constantly there's also, besides entropy, the law of everything going into dissolution and disorganization, chaos, there's also chronos. There's chaos and chronos. There's also the organization aspect. There's also the tejas, the cosmic wisdom and intelligence in the body that then started that process to break down the cell that was no good and starts the process of replacing it with a young, fresh cell that has good DNA, RNA, ribosomes, able to produce itself in a positive way, right? Produce all the little chemicals in the right way. So we have interlapping and overlaying cycles constantly of entropy and matrix building, you know? We have to become sensitive to that. In basic sanity, we'll become sensitive to that. And we will go with the natural flow to maintain the system of the human body and the human energy channel system and its ability to communicate with its environment and be nourished by its environment in a bi-directional fashion if we have basic sanity. We will not, here, in a nutshell, we will not invoke entropy before it's time. as a total experience for our humanity, right? For our own human beingness, this life, I will not invoke entropy ahead of time. So when I watch people in their 50s, in Asia especially seems to be the trend, drinking until they get nauseous and have to throw up. Like in the 40s and 50s, and you go, wow, that's like the purpose of going out for drinks. I looked at it and I said, well, it's basically invoking entropy a little bit early. When you poison yourself to the degree that your whole organ system starts to shut down and make you throw up. Right? Or you watch people work out until they throw up, where their liver and everything shuts down. The brain says you're going to cause anoxia to these organs to the degree that you will damage them by lack of oxygen. So we're going to make you throw up because you really can't keep running hill sprints while you're puking. So then it makes you stop. Now that's like a last call, isn't it? It's crazy. So appropriate natural appetites are expressed by a person who's in a deep process of basic sanity, and they should continually be refined by your searching and feeling intuitively what is appropriate, what should be expressed there. Food-wise, sleep-wise, sex-wise, exercise-wise, even your work, and even the environment. What environment is best for you and what work is best for you, right? Okay. So we go back to that rhetorical question. If somebody's that unhealthy and saying that they're, really deeply connected and present with their body and present with, you have to wonder if that's true, right? We'll discuss the 3 levels of it, body, speech, and mind later for the full expression of basic sanity, but still. So maybe some level of intuition is developing, but it hasn't come to the degree of what? The action. The action isn't there. Because we have to take action for it to be a full experience of the wisdom of basic sanity. In Sanskrit, this jnana is there in the idea of basic sanity. Okay? Any question on that so far?